What's up, guys? So, quick thing right now. Dating today is crazy, right? Whether it's through social media, just in this world in general, it's just very, very difficult. And one thing that I've been able to use to my advantage with women is, and not in a weird way, is astrology, right? My understanding of astrology and psychology has enabled me to, let's say, understand the nature of someone before I get to know them in the more traditional sense, right? So, for example, if I'm talking to a girl who or in the process of getting to know a girl who has heavy 12th house placements and some retrograde, Mercury and Mars, lots of very heavy water placements, I'm not surprised when she disappears around a tough full moon, and it can just be a complete game changer. So yeah, like whether it's for men or women, I know that dating is always a massive priority, and I just want to say that that's something that I can help a lot with. Like sometimes like the sessions I offer, a lot of times they're for natal readings, right, which is like the overall background, but also like being able to talk to someone who's maybe never had a reading with me, but just needs that instant help. Hey, Jesse, like I'm dealing with this. If it's a guy, like I'm dealing with this girl. It could be gay. I don't give or homosexual. It could be a woman. Hey, I'm Jesse. I'm dealing, with this guy. Like I don't get it. Like yes, there's the compatibility, and I prefer to do that. But I also like to I like to be able to do consulting work too. Consulting work is the best way I could term it, right? And basically I've helped a lot of people, right? Like I had a client, a friend / client, excuse me, not too long ago, a few weeks ago, who was talking to this very Aquarian woman, and by talking with him and going into her chart, his chart, he had a natal reading with me before. We realized that we understood that a lot of it was not about him, and this is usually what happens in romance, is that we like. When someone ghosts us, or when someone disappears, or just whatever, it brings us back to our shame. Like we all have a certain there's always a certain very specific to us type of shame that gets triggered when we get ghosted, or when something romantic doesn't go our way. But the best way I think of it is like it's like sales. Like not just follow me, right? Like in sales, when you're going through cold calls, or when you're you'll get a bunch of no's, right? You'll get a bunch of no's. And I did sales for 2 years, and I got really good at it because you just have to. It's just like in sports. Like if you miss, you move on. The best shooters in the NBA and basketball are players who have a very bad memory. Like even if they miss 10 shots in a row, that 11th shot, the 10 misses before that aren't affecting it. They can still hit that one, right? So it's like that with dating also. But yeah, with this guy, we realized that this girl, like a lot of it was tied to some deep fear of death. Because we only were able to figure that out through understanding her astrology, but also her psychology. So I love working in sessions with people around this, dating. And he was better able to understand. I was able to look at transits and be like, look, like she's probably going to come back. This seems like one of these things. Like she's probably gonna pop back. Aquarius women are very, very hard to pinpoint. And she's going through this transit right now, right? So this is like usually what happens when someone goes through. I forget if it was Pluto square Sun or conjunct Sun, or was it Saturn square Moon? Whatever, I can't remember. The point is, like, she was going through some shit, and it was really making her face her fears. And then we were able to look at the synastry between them and be like, okay, well, I forget the exact aspects, right? But like, he essentially brought out a lot of her Plutonian shadows. So just his presence, even though he didn't have that external energy of being like bringing up really deep concepts, he still brought that depth out of her. He still made her like I've actually like dated a girl before where like she like it's like dated, predated, whatever. Like it never worked out because basically it was funny because like I'm a Sag moon, I'm all about humor, right? Like I'm just naturally like I'm never really that serious, like especially around woman I like I'm usually like, without even noticing, I'm usually just like joking and messing with them and making fun of them, like not even like in a mean way. It's like I do it and I don't even realize I'm doing it, right? In these videos I probably seem a lot more serious than I am, but because I'm trying to get a point across. But basically, like, because my moon was conjunct her Pluto, she would just start, it's not funny, but she would just start crying, like when we'd be like just doing something together, like light conversation. Then she would just like somehow she'd just like start thinking about her childhood. And like every time we hung out, she would, and she wasn't like she was a very beautiful crier, so it wasn't like annoying. It was just like little tears coming down, no noises. It was like, damn, like this is intense, right? So it's like understanding the dynamics is really important. Now, back to my main point, how I can help people is that a lot of people have a lot of shame with respect to like how they responded to certain situations in love, and how people, it takes up a lot of mental energy. It takes a lot, when you're in that phase of talking to someone before things are solidified, or you don't even know if things are going to be solidified or if things should be solidified. It's just stressful. It can really make even the most confident of people feel like shit. And there's in love, there's no such thing as better or worse. So, yeah, I love to work with people in that way, and basically like kind of help show people that it's not always, a lot of times, like what you think is happening, especially if it's like a long distance type thing or something where you guys aren't, just met each other, or in today's world, a lot of stuff is online or people using apps, whatever, right? It's to show that a lot of times what you think is happening is really just a projection of your own insecurities, or it's a projection of something, your own past experiences. And like, how many times has that happened to you where you thought something was happening and then it wasn't that, right? And recently I've gotten very good at tuning into the energy and at least having a very good idea. And sometimes people are going to lie too, right? Like let's be real. Sometimes people are going to lie. There's so many things that can happen. If you're talking to someone who is highly coveted, for example, like you're, as a man, you're probably competing with a lot of other men. Like, if we're just being honest, right? And even if she's not a promiscuous woman, like, it's ignorant to think that you're the only guy that's trying or that's talking to her. And yeah, like some if she likes you enough, maybe she'll just push those guys aside. But like a lot of the times, it won't happen right away. You can't expect that to just be like instantaneous. Okay, bye to everyone else I've been that's been trying. So it's just very different men to women in that sense. Now, when we talked about like a more mature dynamic, a more mature man woman dynamic, then it changes significantly. But I think there's still a lot of the same rules apply, right? At the end of the day, when we're able to look at the birth chart, when we're able to go into that, when we're able to truly see someone's nature and understand how it manifests, how it works or how it doesn't work with ours, we're able to strategize and not do what I call striking out, right? Like in baseball, a strikeout is when you're out, like when you swing and you're out. And sometimes you need to just be patient, right? So sometimes you need to just like let time do its thing and not act, right? It's like strict strategy, right? You just need to chill and let the person think. Other times you need to act more, right? It really depends on the chart and the evidence that you would have collected, getting to know or talking to the person or whatever. Everyone's in a different position. So anyways, yeah, I guess my point is this is something that I'm focusing more on. And even though my general rule is I like to do a natal chart first, I do want people to know that this consulting, romantic astrological based romantic consulting is something I'm gonna be leaning more towards with my 2 psychology masters as well. So feel free to message me on my Instagram at @JesseInnocentAstro, or email me at jesseinnocentastrology@gmail.com. Honestly, even if it's like a crazy, you're anxious, it's like a last minute thing, just try me. I'm random. If I'm not busy, like, yeah, maybe I'll be able to work with you. Like there's days, there's weeks that I have no free time. There's weeks where I have still a lot to do, but where I'm able to make time for a last minute session. And sometimes I like doing that. So, anyways, hope you guys have a good day. Hope you guys enjoy, or hope you guys took something from this. And yeah, I'm here if you need me. Ciao.